Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. As you can tell from the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about the different ways that hair salons pay. For those of you who are looking for new jobs and, starting out in the field, this video should be helpful to you. Okay, so there are three main ways that salons usually pay their stylists. So that is either salary, commission, or booth rent. So let's start with salary. Salary is what it sounds like. You make a salary either an hourly wage, daily wage, weekly, whatever. Everyone's different. In my personal opinion, getting paid through salary is the worst way to get paid unless you are a new stylist starting out or you're working as an assistant. So as an assistant, you don't have a clientele yet. So honestly, if you got paid any other way, you would not be making any money. So salary is good because you literally get paid for just being there. You just sweep the floors, you help the stylist, you do whatever and you make whatever wage you can until you can build up to getting your own clientele and then making money that way. But the reason I say it's the worst way to get paid is because if you're a more experienced stylist and you have a whole following and everything, you realize that you're pretty much working for nothing when you make a salary. One of the last salons that I worked at, it was a salary salon, and it was terrible because honestly I had no motivation to work. I had no motivation to bring my clients there. It just didn't seem worth it to me because I could literally go in there and be on my phone all day and make the same amount of money as if I had worked all day long. And one thing I hated was because I do braids and weaves and the other stylists didn't, I would a lot of times be staying there a lot later than the other girls, and yet we're all making the same amount of money. So that just didn't feel fair to me. So I don't agree with salary unless you are new and starting out. So the next way to get paid is commission, and I feel like this is the most popular way that salons pay their stylists. So commission is you just get a percentage of whatever work you do. So with my experience, most salons I've worked at pay 60-40. So the stylist gets 60%, the salon gets 40. So let's say I do a service that costs $100, I get $60 in my pocket, the salon gets 40, and their percentage is to pay back, to restock the product that you used, or the electricity or the water. It all goes towards salon expenses. So I feel like as a stylist, this is one of the best ways to get paid because the more work you do, the more money you make. But obviously, if you are a newer stylist and you don't have a following, you would not be making anything. And that's a mistake that I made. My very, very, very first salon that I worked in, it was a salary. It was a commission paying job. I made no money, literally no money. And then I think the third salon I worked in after that, again, no money. The first two salons I worked at, I didn't stay there long story with those two. But anyway, the third one I worked at, it was busy, but being that I was new and I was working as an assistant, I wasn't making any money. And now that I know better, I feel like the salon owner should have known better than to pay me commission. She should have definitely offered me a salary because she hired me to assist her. She knew I was fresh out of school. She knew I had no clientele. I had no following. I still had a lot to learn. She should have never offered to pay me commission, knowing that I didn't know any better. But I feel like because I didn't know any better, that might have been why she did that. But I literally worked for months without making a single dollar, except whatever I made from shampooing heads or whatever tips the other clients gave me. But even when I assisted with their clients, she didn't give me a percentage of what I did because it wasn't my client. You know what I mean? So honestly, looking back, I was wronged in that whole job. But anyway, I say all that to say that if you are new and starting out and you do not have a clientele, don't work for commission. Ask for a salary, ask to work as an assistant, and then when you build up, then you can move on to commission. And that's what a lot of salons do. They say once you start bringing in a certain amount of money, you can move to commission because now you're making so much that it's not really worth it for you to make a salary. Might as well get your commission and get paid off the work you do because you're doing a lot more work. And commission usually always adds up to more than a salary would. Also, I feel like most salon owners prefer to pay commission more than anything else just because the more work your stylists bring in, the more money goes towards your salon as well. So it's a win-win for them as well. Okay, so the final way is booth rent. I don't have too much information on that just because I live in Pennsylvania, and for whatever reason, I don't know, Pennsylvania does not allow booth rent. It's illegal. We're not allowed to do that in our salons, which is weird because we're allowed to do salon suites, which is very similar, but they don't allow booth rent in the state, and it just makes no sense to me. Anyway, booth rent is basically you pay rent at a salon. So this would only be beneficial if you have your own clientele. So booth rent has a lot of pros and cons. So basically booth rent means that you are renting a space in a salon. So it's not like other salons where everybody works together. Even though you have your own clientele, it's still you're under, how do I explain? Basically, if you are a booth renter, you are pretty much a business owner, but instead of owning your own salon, you rent the station. So you don't have to go through the work of finding a building. You don't have to go through the trouble of paying rent to a landlord. You don't take care of the bills. You do none of that. All you do is you pay your rent. So usually salons, they usually charge you, you usually pay rent every week or every other week. I don't think there's many that make you pay every month. But yeah, you basically say it's like $250 a week. You pay your $250. Everything else you make for the rest of the week is in your pocket. So if you have a thriving clientele and you do not plan on owning your own space, booth rent is definitely the best way to go, because like I said, you pay that rent one time, everything else goes in your pocket. Only thing with booth rent is, like I said, it's your own business technically, so you're usually responsible for buying your own products. You're responsible for doing your own advertising. You bring in your own clients, obviously. It's not like, you're running behind and you can ask another stylist to take over. It doesn't work that way because everyone's pretty much working for themselves. You're just under the same roof. So you get a station and you get use of the sinks. Everything else is your responsibility. So it's very similar to salon suites, which are really big right now, which is basically you just rent a room in a building, but rather than a big open salon and you just have a station, but it's the same concept. So that's why I'm very confused that we're allowed to do salon suites here in PA, but booth rent for whatever reason is illegal. I really don't get it. But yeah, if you want to feel like a business owner without the responsibilities of a business owner, I would definitely say look into booth renting if your state does allow it. I know a lot of barbershops do this. I don't know how common it is in salons, but again, I won't know because we don't have that here. But I know if that was a thing, I would definitely be doing it. But again, if you are a newer stylist, I do not recommend that at all because nobody's going to help you out with building clientele or anything. At least if you're new in a salon and you don't have your own clientele, people could always give you walk-ins or something like that. But in booth rent salons, it's pretty much every man for himself. You're just paying your rent. You just own the station, but you're a business owner, so you can't depend on everybody else to help you out and hold your hand. So those are the 3 main ways that you can get paid in a salon. So those are things to consider whenever you're looking for a salon job. I know this was a quick video, but I just hope that this helps somebody out because I know when I was new to working in salons, this was all the information that would have helped me had I had somebody guide me through the wonderful world of hair salons. But I didn't have that, which is why my first 3 salon jobs, I didn't make any money because I didn't know that there were other ways to get paid. So yeah, that's just good to know if you are starting off. So I hope that helps somebody. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!